My name is Anthony Chiavelli. With me is Joanne Gorkovic. We're the co-directors of this new initiative the Sheriff's going to be announcing this morning. It's an exciting day here, and so fitting that we're at the Recovery and Wellness Center. Our facility, formerly located at Howard Street, has really been a beacon of hope and change for over 17,000 men and women for 33 plus years. So it's fitting that we're here announcing this today. Before I go any further, though, we just want to, and bear with me, but it's important to recognize all our partners and supporters, whether it be from wraparound agencies or legislators. So I'm just going to run through this list. And please, this isn't an all-inclusive list. If I leave anyone off, don't tell the sheriff. I'm sorry. But we just want to recognize Stephen Ash, Della Blake, Joseph Boucher, Derek DeBarge, Dan Delaney, Sheriff Chris Donlan, Sheila Dupree, Chris Fallon, Representative Mike Finn, Herbie Flores, Jennifer Gaffney, Representative Carlos Gonzalez, Tom Hagerty, Paul Hagerty, Mary Hurley, Denise Jordan, Michael Napick, Senator Eric Lesser, Nellie Maldonado, Carolyn Michi, Tracy Minio, John O'Malley, Mel O'Leary, Mark Paglia, Allison Proctor, Athena Haddad, Lisa Burns, Representative Angelo Pupolo, Katie Roberts, Bill Rooney, Dr. Roos, Martha Cutt, Chantel Silaway, Phil Silva, Representative Jose Tassado, Stephen Truman, Aaron Vega, Representative Joseph Wagner, Liz Wynot, Catherine Wilson, Tony Simmons, Orlando Ramos, President of the City Council, Sheriff Bowler, and last but certainly not least, Brian Ash. So thank you all, and again, and everyone, and anyone that I failed to mention. Joanne and I, we stand before you, and we're just so grateful, really, to work for someone like Sheriff Cocchi. Sheriff Cocchi, he recognizes a need or a problem in the community. He brings staff together to develop a plan to be part of a solution, and most importantly, he allows us the freedom to go after what we need to make a real difference. So Sheriff Cocchi he's the real deal, and Joanne and I know I can speak for her. We couldn't be more pleased to have him as our leader. So please help me welcome Sheriff Cocchi.
Thank you, Joe. Well, thank you, Anthony. I'll have to pay you for that introduction later. Well, thank you, Superintendent Chiavelli, and welcome everyone to our Western Massachusetts Recovery and Wellness Center. Today is a very meaningful day in our fight against the opioid epidemic that ravages our community. Today, we counterstrike back at the fight against opioid addiction. We will do this together as one voice, one group, with all of us working towards one successful strategy to eradicating this ugly disorder of substance use. As you know, these people are not criminals. They are citizens, civilly committed for treatment because of their severe addiction to drugs and alcohol. And due to their severe addiction, they have been evaluated and deemed a potential danger to themselves or the community. I don't need to tell this group about the scourge of addiction. It affects everyone. Our sons, our daughters, our fathers, our mothers, our sisters and our brothers, our husbands and our wives. There is no social, economical, religious, racial, city-town boundary that this epidemic will not cross. Opioid abuse affects us all. According to the Department of Health, in 2017, we lost 1,874 people to opioid-related overdoses, deaths. But this is a confirmed number. The estimated number is actually to be over 2,000. And unfortunately, in the first 3 months of 2018, over 200 people in Massachusetts have died of opioid use. Today, we enter a new era in treatment for those afflicted by this crisis. Today, with the partnership of our good friends at the Department of Corrections, led by my friend and colleague, Commissioner Tom Turco, and all of you who are standing here today, we launched the Stony Brook Stabilization and Treatment Centers of Springfield and Ludlow. Although our, yes, absolutely. Although our staff of professional specialists at the Sheriff's Department have been at this work for many years, today we begin a journey with all of you to stop the needless loss of life for too many of our family, friends, and citizens. This program will allow the citizens from Worcester, west to the Berkshires, who are civilly committed under Mass General Law, Section 35, to come directly to us for detox and treatment for addiction use disorders. This will avoid the 2.5 to 3.5 hour trips to Eastern Mass, far from family, friends, and local support service agencies for their treatment. We are transforming a housing unit in our Ludlow facility called the Stony Brook Stabilization Treatment Center of Ludlow. It will be a comprehensive detox and stabilization program separate from those incarcerated for criminal activity. This component will be open in less than 30 days. After detox and stabilization, these Section 35 civilly committed individuals will step down to this facility, Stony Brook Springfield, here inside of our Western Massachusetts Recovery and Wellness Center. They will be under intense treatment and programming by our trained and certified specialists who will guide their recovery back into the community. We know from experience many are not ready in 30 days, 60, or even 90 to lead a stable, drug-free, and successful life in the community. For those individuals, here in this facility, we have a foundation house program. It's located right here where they can stay, if needed, past their civil commitment while they continue to work on further recovery, reunification with family, permanent sober housing, and employment opportunities. We will stay with them as long as it takes to help them successfully get back on their feet. This is a huge undertaking, one that no one agency or department can do alone. We need and appreciate all of you here today as we are united in working hand in hand to assist those in our community who become successful, productive citizens again, in bringing back to them that level of respect. We bring back to them that peace that lets them know that they're contributing to their families and society. Currently here at the Western Massachusetts Recovery and Wellness Center, we have opened 32 beds that are dedicated to Section 35 commitments that have been clinically stabilized by the Department of Corrections and are ready to continue their treatment and education. As I mentioned earlier, within 60 days, we will be opening another 54-bed unit at our main facility in Ludlow, where we will detox and stabilize individuals. We will begin their intense treatment and education, as well as preparing them to be ready to step back into the community with several tools on their tool belt to overcome and continue a life of sobriety. Between these two sites, there is 86, let me repeat that, 86 new beds online here in Western Massachusetts dedicated to the treatment of substance use disorder. My staff get mad when I say A6 will probably turn into 106. Then unfortunately to 186. Until we can pull the train back into the station on this awful crisis, we're going to continue to provide the resources locally to combat this issue. The current program is designed for men, and we are excluded. Let me say that again. As of right now, we are excluded by law from providing this care for women. I want to change that so men and women can receive the same treatment here locally. I look to our legislators to join me in this effort as we move forward, as we work the kinks out of this program and then move on to taking care of our female population. And in closing, I'd like to take a moment to personally thank all the staff of the Hamden County Sheriff's Department. Their dedicated service to our community and their professionalism is unwavering. It truly is the reason that the Hamden County Sheriff's Office is so successful. It stems from the men and women on the front line doing the tough work. And I want to thank you all for standing together as we go forward in this battle against opioid addiction. I want to thank you for being here, and at this time, it's an honor to call up to the podium Department of Corrections Deputy Commissioner Carol Michi to say a few words. Carol.
Thank you for having me. And on behalf of Commissioner Turco, I just want to extend my sincere appreciation to Sheriff Cocchi and his team for partnering with us on this endeavor. Governor Baker is committed to help the opioid epidemic, and he's been very, very helpful and supportive of all of our efforts towards this endeavor. Our facility in Plymouth, Massachusetts is a 251-bed facility. However, it is in Plymouth, Massachusetts, and as the sheriff indicated, that's a far, far away from here. So because of our partnership with Hampden County and many other sheriff's departments that are represented here today, it was easy. It was easy to take a step forward and trust that they wanted to do the right thing because they do know how to do the right thing. They've been leaders in reentry efforts and correctional practices for many years, and I have all the faith in the world that this program will be successful as it already has been so far. So I just wanted to thank the sheriff and all of his staff for collaborating with us, and I hope that this partnership continues for many more decades. Thank you.
I would now like to bring to the podium to say a few words Denise Jordan on behalf of the Mayor of Springfield, Dominic Sarno. Denise is the Chief of Staff.
Thank you. Good morning. On behalf of our Mayor, the Honorable Dominic J. Sarno, I bring greetings from the City of Springfield and would like to publicly thank the Hampden County Sheriff's Department and specifically Sheriff Cocchi for his demonstrated commitment to battling the scourge of opioid addiction. Having attended a number of meetings throughout the last couple of years, one of the things that I can remember early on is Sheriff Cocchi said, you know what, I have room, I have staff, we have the ability to bring this thing into fruition. He's a man of his word because we're standing here today because he recognized very early that this region needed a facility to help those that are battling addiction. So on behalf of the families in the region, specifically in the City of Springfield, I'd like to thank Sheriff Cocchi and the staff of the Hampden County Sheriff's Department for what they're going to do to help to battle opioid addiction in the region. Thank you so much.